you still go through life with doubts about stuff, but you also created inside you that machine that just chops up doubt and spits it out. You know what I mean? And that's the important thing. You can still doubt, and that's a normal human trait, but also what isn't is be a little bit abnormal and believe in yourself and move forward. I jumped in the military right after high school when I was 18, working out at Red Team Gym there in Fort Hood. There was a lot of posters around about bodybuilding shows, and so I was always, like I said, always in great shape. I loved working out, did a couple teenage shows when I was younger and all that kind of stuff, and only had a training partner probably for 1 or 2 workouts, and then I'm back by myself because it'd be like, dude, you're crazy. There's no way I'm going back in the gym with you. Reputation around is like, you don't want to go to the gym with this guy because he's nuts, which was true, which I really enjoyed working out and loved being stronger than everybody else. Loved all of it. But I consistently went to the gym, consistently became stronger, consistently created a better physique. So I believed in, I know whatever I wanted to do within the gym athletically, I could do it. You know, when the memories came back, when I started seeing the posters up on the wall, you know, about the bodybuilding show, like I said, it was just, you know, a seed that was sown into me a long time ago. I was like, wow, I want to do that. You know, I want to get back into that. I have to admit, the very first show I ever went into, I still have a picture of it. I had white trunks, totally not in shape. I was in shape, but compared to everybody on stage, I wasn't in bodybuilding shape, trust me. And even in my picture, you can see me, I'm like standing there like normal, not like a bodybuilder, like normal, and kind of looking off to the side, trying to see what other guys were doing so I can kind of follow, you know? So that was very funny and embarrassing. And I thought after that show, I'll never, ever show up like that again. That'll never happen again. And it did a couple times when I was a pro, but we'll get to that later. But at least that moment, I was like, I'll never show up to a show like that ever again like that. And for sure, my second show was that same show the following year, the Heart of Texas. I went as a heavyweight that first year, my very first show, because I didn't regulate my weight. You know, of course, I just thought I was a big guy and I was going to go in and show everybody, and I did too much. So I went as a middleweight the following year and won the show, won overall and all that stuff. It wasn't like it is now where you can, you know, win a show and decide to go open and, you know, get nationally qualified and all that stuff at one show. You had to win out of novice to be able to compete in open. So I obviously won out of novice, middleweight. So I waited another several months and went to the Lone Star, and it was a national qualifier. And then I got second place there at the Lone Star. I should have won it, but that's nor here or there. But you can look at the pictures, no, I'm kidding. So I got nationally qualified, so good enough for me. Went up to the junior nationals from there in '99, and I was determined. I mean, after I won the Heart of Texas, I sought out a promoter, and he was like, man, you know, you shouldn't waste your time yet doing the Lone Star. It's a national qualifier, you're not ready, or this is very early. And I was like, screw that. I just believe them. Like I said, that you consistently do something, you can't help but to consistently believe in yourself. And so no matter, he was the brains behind the whole piece of it, and that's why I sought him out. But something in here was like, when he started talking negative to me, that's when I was like, no. I know what I did to get to this point. I know what I need to do more or less to get to the next point. And if you're not on board with me to help me get there, I'm gonna do it my damn self, you know? And that's the attitude I had. Just how, like I said, just consistently working out, consistently building a better physique. All the evidence up to that point I had. That I should move on. So I just believed in myself again, and I did. Went to Lone Star, got second place, got nationally qualified. Went from there, found out about the junior nationals. You know, there was the nationals where you could go and get your pro card, but I thought, hold on, I was smart enough to say, let me take a step back. The junior nationals is like, you won't get your pro card, but you can compare yourself to national competitors without the big bang of it. You know what I mean? And if it fails, nobody's gonna blink an eye. You're pretty much under the radar, more or less. You can go back, fix some things, and then get ready for the nationals. But it was just, for me, a calculated deal to get myself set up for the next phase on turning pro. So I did do the junior nationals, went and smashed it, and won light heavyweight. Didn't win overall, but I won the light heavyweight class to get, qualified to go. Well, I was already qualified to go to the nationals. That was for me to see how I would, size up to the guys that were going to the nationals in the USA. And so that convinced me it was time. So that following year, I went to the USA. I'm sorry, that same year in '99, I went to the nationals. The nationals was 2 months later. I went ahead and went to the nationals and was like, I'm going to do this thing. End up 9th at the nationals. Good showing, great showing, but and comparable, I have to say, to other competitors, I could have been up there in the upper echelon, but being new, I have to say, and those guys consistently, coming in, looking the way they did, and, was the front runners. I wasn't that immaculate to overtake them, but I could compare to them. I knew leaving that. So went back, refurbished some things, still had momentum going, then went to the 2000 USA. I ended up winning the USA, the light heavyweight at the USA's, but I didn't get my pro card. Quincy Taylor did. He won overall, and at the USA's, the overall winner only got his pro card. So Quincy Taylor won overall that year. He was a super heavyweight. I won the light heavy. This guy, Fred Bagot, won the heavy. Quincy Taylor won the super heavy and overall. So that was hard because it was like I won my weight class, but I didn't get my pro card. So when I got back home, I was like, I won. They were like, holy crap, you're a pro. I'm like, no, I didn't get overall. They were like, what? And I'm like, yeah, there you got to win overall. So anyway, that was short-lived because then I went to 2001 Nationals and won light heavyweight and overall at that show, where the Nationals, you only have to win your weight class, which I won light heavyweight, got my pro card, but I just wanted to make a point and win overall too, that I could do that also. But guys, I'm telling you, it's all about, believing in yourself. And like I said, nobody can take none of that away from me, none of the training, none of the crying, none of the hurting, none of the starving, and no part of it can anyone take away from me. So you got to know you've done that on your own. And through all that struggle, you build up the courage, you build up confidence, and then you dwell off of that, because not everyone can do it, and not everybody can come in number one, but for sure, not everyone can be, regimented, consistent on, trying to make themselves better in one aspect of life, let alone many aspects of life. Because as a bodybuilder, yeah, you have to, be knowledgeable about your training, but you got to be knowledgeable about your eating. Then you got to be knowledgeable about the appropriate rest. Then you got to be knowledgeable about your supplementation. You got to be knowledgeable about, how much fluid to take in to stay hydrated. It's so many different things to it. It's pretty incredible, but this is a way that I learned by embracing it, making other aspects of my life even better. Where thought I was weak there, this strength I gained in believing in myself helped me branch out into other aspects of my life.